Welcome everybody to our third episode. Today we'll be talking about the World Cup. Welcome everybody to our third episode of the podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the World Cup. Very excited to have you guys back, and let's jump right into it.
So the World Cup, as you all probably know, is the largest sporting event in the entire world. Each year, it attracts billions of watchers and viewers. It happens every 4 years between countries all across the world, and they play football.
And this year, the World Cup is organized by three nations, actually quite far apart from each other. It's between the US, Canada, and Mexico. Whereas what? Or no?
They're far apart, they're neighboring countries.
The matches are far apart. Let me just finish my thing.
Yes. Okay, my bad.
Unlike last World Cup, where everything was inside of one nation, one small nation, and the matches were only like 100 kilometers max apart from each other. Now, sometimes some footballers have to take a 8-hour flight just to get to their match. That's why they're far apart.
Yeah. I see. Interesting.
So, where did the World Cup originate from? Anne?
Oh, I know this one. The World Cup was first hosted in Uruguay in 1930, and it was right after Uruguay had won the Olympics. But I know Arno knows much more about this, so he'll let you know.
Yeah, sure. So Uruguay won the 2 Olympics right before that. And so FIFA, when they created the World Cup, decided to have Uruguay host it. And so 8 teams participated in the World Cup. And since the 2 Olympics before that were kind of the world event for football, Uruguay has 4 stars on their jersey instead of 2, since they only won 2 World Cups. Or 13, teams participated. I said 8, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And this year's editions, FIFA decided to do something else. And instead of the regular 36 teams, they decided to add a new round of 32. And therefore, in the group stages, they included 48 teams, which therefore results into some nations getting qualified for the first time ever, such as Curacao and Cape Verde, which
I think it's Cape
hopefully
Verde.
do their best in
Cape Verde. That's okay.
It's not.
Yeah.
Cape
So this
Verde?
is.
It's not Cape Verde.
My bad.
I'm pretty sure it's not. So this is pretty great, since the way the selection works is that each
Belgium.
Can we just
Kidding,
continue?
since each part of the world
said
each
Cape
part of the world plays against each other in order to be selected for the World Cup. So that means that
God.
all countries across the world get to participate, including small ones like Curacao, which is always fun to see.
Yes, this results into, some of these great countries just not being able to get qualified. Amazing countries, just legends in football. Like countries like Cameroon will certainly be missed this World Cup. Everybody loves Cameroon, Samuel Eto'o, Roger Mila. We won't be able to show up and show out. Yeah. Oh, and Italy too.
And most notably, there's also Italy, who for the second time in a row will not be in the World Cup, which is quite funny, since they are also a legendary team who won the World Cup multiple times and have a deep-rooted history in football.
Right.
Let's move on.
But you know what's actually funny about Italy? Right before that, they didn't get qualified. They actually won the World Cup, and right after, the next 3 times, they did not even get into the group stage.
Yeah.
Just quite shocking.
Yeah.
Because there is kind of something going on that when a team wins the World Cup, there's like an 80% chance that in the group stages, like either they don't even make the group stages, or in the group stages they don't qualify to go to the next round.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, and Italy also won the Euros in 2024,
2024, yeah.
which was the last Euros, where Belgium got eliminated in the semis. Moment sad.
Moment of respect.
Okay. Yeah. That time will never be forgotten. But luckily, England didn't win and they lost in the finals, which is always great to see. Oh wait, the Euros that I'm talking about is actually 2020, because the last one was with Spain winning.
Right. It was 2020.
But we're not talking about the Euros right now. We're talking about the World Cup and how Italy didn't make it.
Well, I want to maybe talk about this year's nation, and notably the United States, because in their kind of history of football, they don't have like that really big significance, but yet they are willing to kind of organize and host the World Cup. What do you guys think about this?
Yeah. We all know that the way that countries get chosen to host the World Cup is just glorified bidding war. So the US and Mexico are co-hosting. And there's already been, there's every single year, a lot of controversy about this. A lot of the teams and players have been complaining about the practice facilities not being on par with the standards of FIFA, since America's not used to having real grass instead of turf like they have for most of their sports.
Most notably, there was actually an event going on last week, very close by the training pitches of England, and this shooting was about 1.3, 1.4 miles away from their pitch, and they all had to get evacuated. And later on the same week, they even got stolen from, and most of their just training gear got taken away, and they had to get like last minute resources. And this kind of raises the question whether or not this edition of the World Cup meets the normal and the regular standards of a FIFA World Cup, and what like players kind of are required and deserve to get in order to play.
Yeah, it's often sad to talk about. Always the controversies around World Cups. There's always politics involved, just like this year a lot as well, due to all the boycotts from the fans and people not being allowed in the countries to actually play or watch the team. And for example, one of the bigger scandals again was that Iran is obviously not in good relations with America right now. So if they want to play a game in America, they have to fly in, immediately play the game, and immediately fly back out without staying too long. So it's always sad to see this like huge cultural event that's supposed to unite people be so politically divided.
This was also, I think, this also happened in the 2018 World Cup, where Russia was hosting, and they were also at the time in some political conflicts. Yeah. But maybe let's focus on how money is involved in the World Cup, like how nations that host generate but also lose billions of dollars. Like, how do they kind of recover, and how are they able to gain this money?
During World Cups, what happens most often is that sometimes the countries that are picked don't have stadiums, or don't have stadiums that are like adapted to FIFA's requirements or whatever. So they have to spend a lot of money in a very short amount of time to get those stadiums built before the World Cup is being hosted. And so that's how they lose money. However, the tourism, the media attention, and all this that is brought to a country due to the World Cup, that generates money, obviously, because economy is booming because people are going around eating food, discovering cultures. I don't know when this was, 2014, I think it was, in Brazil. and they were selling like tickets to the parade, and that's how a lot of people got to like be amazed by Brazilian culture.
Yeah, I remember those times very vaguely, but the it was a huge cultural moment as always at the with the World Cup, and it allows countries to show off their culture and allow people to see what it's truly like, and it attracts a lot of like popularity towards your country if it's done right. Which in 2022 was rather unsuccessful with Qatar. They had to build a lot of stadiums in a very short amount of time since they didn't actually have the football stadiums to host all these games. And they aren't quite as culturally relevant as I bet they want to be now as a result of the World Cup, since there was once again a huge scandal with all the workers there, the migrant workers that were not paid enough and that were in brutal conditions that had to work so many hours to get these stadiums done in time.
This also kind of, following that, makes the World Cup a bit controversial. It's not just like the conditions that workers often have to go like against to have these conditions met that FIFA requires nations to do so. But there's also a lot of say about corruption, as people in the past, and I think still, always raise the question if referees have been paid the match, or if there is some type of unfair involvement in this whole, like, just the matches going on. I feel like a good example was the goal from Maradona in, I think it was the 1986 World Cup, also called the Golden Hand, right?
Hand of God.
The Hand of God, where he made a goal by using his hand, but the camera angles made it seem that he used his head, and at the time they did not have the technology to really like correctly look at this, and people are kind of like speculating whether or not this was a corrupted match and the referee or even just FIFA was bought, like they paid FIFA in order to let them win.
Yeah, well, the fact whether he used his hand or not is kind of clear on camera. He definitely did, but there was just no VAR, so it was impossible for the ref. It's hard for the ref to tell. So obviously, England was pissed off since it was against them. But corruption and paid off refs have been a part of the World Cup's history, especially back in those days when it was a lot easier. And winning the World Cup was used politically as well. I'm pretty sure when Mussolini was in power in Italy, um, there was like there's rumors that he was threatening the Italian team if they didn't win because that's such a like huge moment and would raise the like national morale and bring so much more pride in the people that Mussolini needed at the time. And so he wanted the Italian team to really win the World Cup. And yeah, stuff like that would happen all the time.
Mm-hmm. I think there's also like something concerning and something controversial is that some like stadiums that got built, they don't get used after, and they're just a waste of resources, a waste of money. I mean, it's not really a waste of money, but for just such a short span of time, these things get used, and then just like the earth has to suffer on like all the kind of waste that has just been done by not using the stadium at all. For example,
Yeah.
some of the stadiums in the 2022 Qatar World Cup, um, they just don't get used and they're just rotting there until, yeah. Let's go over some of the
Yeah.
greatest World Cup moments. And what is
Yeah.
in your opinion, one of the most significant and best moments in the World Cup history?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I always watch football matches with my dad, but I never really like remember them because it doesn't mark me that much. But I think like I can't pinpoint a significant like moving moment, but I think just like the culture surrounding the World Cup and football in general is so good because especially in like underdeveloped countries. Like, I glaze Cameroon a lot, but it's not a very like booming country. It's a poor country, and we take a lot of pride in our football team because even though we haven't won a World Cup yet, we did do a lot of like amazing like accomplishments for an African team. And so brought it brings a lot of people together. There's this like culture of like pride, like national pride, despite like maybe having different political ideologies and stuff like that. And it kind of like helps people forget about their like struggles. Like I know in Cameroon, despite people being super poor, like they will like sacrifice time away from work to go watch a football match from Cameroon. Even though like nowadays the team pisses everybody off, but you know, there's still like pride in that. And then another thing is the songs. The songs are always so good. Okay, not always. They're most of the time good. The Shakira song, Zamina Mina, that one. Did you
Waka
know?
Waka.
Yes. Did you know that it was actually originally a Cameroonian song from like it was when we were revolting against colonialism. They came up with that song and she like took it off from them and remixed it or whatever. People don't know that, but I think it's really interesting. And
Cool.
so that song is so cool. Love that song. And then the Speed World Cup song, so good. I love that song. It's so
Which
good.
one though? The one from last time or
The
this
one
one?
from last time, the one from last time. I haven't listened to the one
Yeah,
from
yeah,
this
yeah.
year yet.
It's
But
so, I feel like it's so good how also just like YouTubers and just people in the media can just like have such an influence in making people get their attention to the World Cup. I think this song is just like everybody knows it. Everybody's heard it at least once.
yeah.
I mean, especially the teenagers, and it just makes people aware and people like want to watch the World Cup kind of more due to the fact that he made these type of things.
Yeah, I think the younger generation can probably relate that if you hear the words "Let's play football," the first thing you think of is that song. Even though it came out in the 2022, it still is engraved in the memories. It's pretty great. But there's been so many iconic songs, football songs, World Cup songs throughout the years. Like "We Are One" in 2014, Pitbull. That one is still amazing. Or "Waving Flags" 2010.
The best song
So
is the one from I think it was 20. Which year was it when France won? It was 2018, right?
Yeah.
That
yeah,
song, Ramener la coupe à la maison. That's fire. Love that song.
It's
Love
oh
it.
low-key.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's so good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
Those French songs were
The
like a
French songs
cultural
are always
phenomenon.
so
Like they
good.
were being blasted everywhere. It was so
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10.
Such a, yeah, such a good moment. And it just also kind of brings us back memories and gives us like this kind of souvenir of the World Cup.
The
Because every time
nostalgia.
you hear this song, you just think about the World Cup and just think about that period of time. It's also partially the reason why people always watch the World Cup again. And then these songs are like just separate souvenirs of just these marking moments that the World Cup was happening at. Arno, what do you think is one of the best things about the World Cup, or like best matches or best goals?
I think the game that I definitely remember, like one of the games I definitely remember the best, that was just one of the greatest football games ever played, was the 2022 finals between France and Argentina in Qatar. I'm pretty sure it was 3-3, and then it went into extra time. There were a lot of shots on goal, a lot of like insane moments. Mbappe scored a hat trick. Lionel Messi won his first World Cup. It was just an insane game in general. And as a D1 French hate watcher, it was beautiful. So
Yes.
yeah,
I think personally, one of the best World Cup moments is when Belgium had an amazing performance against Japan in the 2018 World Cup. What a generational game. Let's go into the details. How does it start? 1-0 for Japan, very bad. 2-0 for Japan. There's no more hope for Belgium. But, boom. Corner kick, headbutts it in. 2-1 for Belgium. Continues. De Bruyne, a quick shot into the corner. 2-2. How much is it? 1 minute on the clock. 1 minute left on the clock. Thibaut Courtois passes it far into the
counterattack.
Perfect counterattack. And they made the goal 3-2. They go into the semifinals, and boom.
Legendary. And don't forget that Anne also scored.
Who?
Anne.
Right. The golden generation of Belgium, 2018. Legendary run. We won against Brazil. Stacked team. Stacked.
You know who else won against Brazil? Cameroon. Twice. We won against Brazil twice.
Okay, but twice in like 50 years of time. Let's continue talking about
this year. We're talking about 2018 Brazil.
Golden prime of Belgium.
Yeah. KDB
we literally we did it in 2022.
Well, let's talk about the golden generation of Belgium. Belgium just had a phenomenal matches. They won against Brazil. Absolutely amazing team. They won twice against England. Amazing matches. And they won with a beautiful game against Japan.
And that game against France in the semis, everybody knew that was the real finals because we were not losing to Croatia if we made it through. It was 1-0. It was just one unfortunate mistake from Alderweireld. He let MTT open for a header. Just sad stuff, really. Heartbreaking.
Always hurts my heart, but yeah.
Moment of silence.
Let's continue on.
Let's continue.
Guys, how do you think the World Cup is going to look in the future? Do you think they're going to keep the 48 teams, or going to go back to the 32, or they're going to make new technology, or do something different for the 100-year anniversary that's going to happen next World Cup?
Yeah. I think one thing that's always cool about football is the evolving technology that's being used. And already this year, they've implemented new technology and rules like they do every year. The VAR system is like really quick. If you watch any of the games, if there's like a questionable onside call or offside, it happens like that in the earpiece of the ref, and he can immediately say whether it's on or offside, which is an amazing feature. As well as the fact that VAR can look at fouls really quickly, and if they see that it was a flop, then the ref will stop the game and give the flopper a yellow card, which is just an amazing rule because flopping has been ruining the game of football for a while. It's just really annoying to see so many floppers, and they get rewarded for it all the time. And yeah.
Wait, Arno, what's a flopper?
A flopper? An SGA? Well, a flopper is just somebody who always dives even though they didn't even get touched. So they pretend to get fouled and they go lay on the ground so they can get a call from the ref.
A fraud.
That is very good, this technology. And what do you think is going to change in the future for the World Cup?
I think there's going to be more African teams, or I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything else?
I think one of them is going to get to... Actually, super proud of Morocco for last World Cup, went really far. And I hope that it's the same for a lot of other African teams, that we can get better, our training is better, our equipment is better, and yeah.
See about that.
Maybe. Yeah, in Morocco, in the time of this recording, Morocco just played against Brazil. It was only 1-1, but against Brazil, who's a pretty solid team, they played really well. They outplayed them, you could say, if you watched the game, despite drawing. But they're looking quite promising. I'm excited to see what they do as well.
Yeah.
I say we nearly end this today's episode with one final question. And what do you guys think is the real importance of the World Cup? Is it football, money, culture, or national identity?
I think FIFA always makes it about money, which is always just horrible to see. They make a lot of decisions based on money, even though it's not in the interest of the sport, of the people. But as we all know, the World Cup is so loved because it brings the people together internationally, regardless of their nationality. And it's just such a beautiful cultural event that everybody partakes in across the world, or most people at least. And it allows people to really express their culture and be proud of their country and root for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree. How about you, Anne?
Same.
Yeah? All right. Well, I'd say we end the episode here. Thank you very much for listening. This might potentially be our last episode, but we'll let you know if we do one more.
Yes.
Thank you for listening. Let us know in the comments if you have anything to say about the World Cup, or even give us potential ideas about next episode. Yeah. Thank you. Peace out.